Hello, welcome to Interesting Infinity, episode 7. I'm Siri here, and today we have Shamika and Rose with us. And I'm going to ask them a few questions about their experience at the Oxford Global Model United Nations 2020. Hi Rose, hi Shamika.
Hey guys, I'm Shamika Mahesh, currently in India and I'm 14 years old. I recently attended the Model United Nations from Oxford, which was conducted in London, but amidst all this COVID-19 issues, we had it done online this year. This gave me a really great opportunity to handle everything online. It was a great honor to be performing on a platform like that. Today I'm here with Team Interesting Infinity and I'm going to be answering a few questions.
Hi, I'm Rose. I'm 16 and I'm from the southwest of England. I've become involved in MUN in the last few years with conferences at Exeter, Oxman with Shami, and more recently chairing my own committee at Bisman, which I very much enjoyed. At Oxford, I represented Denmark, and I'd say my favourite topic was probably women in STEM because it's something I've got involved with in my personal life.
Those were some wonderful intros, Rose and Shamika. Can you both explain MUN to the people who are new to the concept?
For the ones who don't know what MUNs is, it's basically Model United Nations where people come together and form a replica of what happens in the real United Nations committee. Like you have a lot of subdivisions in UN like WHO or UNESCO and everything like that. So same here, we just have a replica and it's run by students.
Model United Nations is where you represent a country in a certain committee that can be anything from health to the environment to what we had, which was the Committee on the Status of Women at Oxford. And you get a chance to debate on a few issues, and then an emergency scenario where you will only find out about it on the day or a few days in advance. You get to come up with your own solutions and debate other people's, and hopefully you pass a resolution.
That was really educating, and it will definitely help our listeners who are new to the concept of MUN. How was your experience at the Oxford MUN 2020?
Oxford MUN was a great experience. It taught me a lot, and every month that I have attended, moreover, Model United Nations from Oxford was really teaching me a lot because I had to coordinate and collaborate with people all over the world, and it was tough to catch up, but I think we all had a lot of work done. We had to indulge into a lot of research, and I think I worked with a lot of people from Canada, from Sydney, from South London, and every places. Had a lot of friends from Dubai as well. We all got a chance to reconnect and spend a lot of time gauging on solutions for the topic Women in STEM. Well, I really enjoyed discussion on this topic.
It's really nice to know that you've learnt a lot from these Oxford MUN sessions, Shamika. Rose, how was your experience at the Oxford MUN 2020?
Oxford MUN for me this year, I really enjoyed it. It was one of my first few conferences. So, a bit nervous and a bit weird being online, not in person. But it was really lovely to meet people from all over the place. For example, Shami, who I never would have met if it wasn't for this conference. And again, just collaborating with everyone. And we had really interesting topics, which I think helped.
That was wonderful, Rose. How many days did you both study and do your research, and what was the time period of the conference?
It took place over 2 weeks. Okay, I would say I probably didn't do enough studying, and there were definitely a lot of people there who knew a lot more than me. It's when people start referencing certain bits of certain laws and sections, and I had no idea. But I'd say probably around 4 hours, where that's including writing resolutions, editing our own resolution. I was very friendly with my group, so we organised a kind of midweek catch-up session. We just all FaceTimed, which was A, nice to see them again, and B, helpful for us all to get our resolution together. But yeah, I don't think I did enough work, but you get by?
Well, I had intense 3 days of research, and I did gain a lot of knowledge at that 3 days time. I didn't do like a lot of study because I had an intense of 3 days, so I think I had enough information. And even if I did not have certain information, it was easier for me because it was online. I had an immediate browse, I had an immediate answer to whatever I was supposed to answer.
I totally understand both of you, because when I was attending a month session here in India, the same thing happened to me. I prepared for like 3 to 4 days, and then I go to the committee, and still I feel that I have not prepared really well, and many people knew much more than me. And unfortunately, I didn't have Google. It was a physical session, so that's how it went. Rose and Shamika, how was it to collaborate with people from all over the world?
I think this is the most exciting and win-win kind of situation here, collaborating with people all around the world, because one, I got a lot of friends. Two, I got a lot of opinions, which I've always been wanting. Our topic, Women in STEM Field and Female Studying STEM, is something that I wanted to debate and have opinions of a lot of people, and I think I did gain that here on that day, so I was really happy. I was also in a situation where I was feeling like, why didn't I think of that? And I really got a lot of opinions that I didn't expect to get. So I think collaborating with people all around the world was exceptional. It was phenomenal. I think it really got me a different perspective. It made me open up, and it made me think in a broader perspective.
I really enjoyed getting lots of different perspectives from around the world, and I think that they dealt with that very well. So, for example, there was the prayer hour that people were allowed to leave for, and obviously everyone brings their own viewpoint from how they've been raised and in the country they've been raised and the certain laws they have in their country. So I think it's a very interesting way of doing it.
That was amazing. I bet you guys would have had a lot of fun collaborating with each other. According to you, what was the most challenging part in your committee?
The hardest part in our committee, I think, was our final resolution. We were in a group and we could not get them to vote to bring our resolution onto the topic of discussion. We kept pushing it forward. Anisha in our group kept on raising it, and we would just vote it out every single time, so we didn't even get to discuss it. And I think that was a big shame.
The most challenging part in my committee was the last part, like the last week, where we had to get 60 members to vote a yes. Basically, we were divided into 5 groups and asked to come up each with one resolution sheet. I was in group B, as I recall, and I was working with Rose, who represented Denmark, and I got really comfortable with my group, so it was a little easier for me to open up. And since it was an unmod, it was easier. I think that was the most challenging part, where we had to, after getting 5 resolution sheets, choosing the best and getting all 60 members to vote a yes, because if even one of them votes a no, then unfortunately our committee would have failed. So basically 2 weeks of intense research, intense speaking, and intense phenomenal discussions would have gone for a toss. I think we did a really great job.
Wow, that must have been a really tough and tricky situation. You guys really have done a great job. Did the difference in time and the time zones affect you personally?
I was very lucky in that time difference didn't affect me at all. But I know in arranging other kind of calls with the girls, it was an issue that some of the others faced. But no, for me, I was lucky in that it was fine.
the difference in time zone was not a problem for me. Well, I'm sure it was a problem for some people out there, but for me personally, in India, I have the committee go on from like 5:30 to sometimes extend to 1:30 max. It was okay. It was cool for me because I got engaged in the discussions and everything, kept me really lively throughout. And trust me, I didn't fall asleep. Well, if I did have a class going on at 1 a.m., I'd probably fall asleep. But this did not let me sleep. I had the most lovely, lively discussion I would have ever expected to have. So, time zone did not affect me one bit.
That was definitely good to know. Were your sessions competitive? Tell us something about that.
I think there were a select few in our committee that made it very competitive. I know I went with a very light-hearted approach, and I think, and some of the girls kind of said very nice things to me about that there definitely were a few in our group who were ready for this to be taken to a very competitive level.
Sessions were competitive, yeah. Again, like I said, the last part of the committee where we had 5 groups and we had to compete. Each group had to compete to get the best block resolution sheet, so we had to make sure we were the best ones. Also in the start of the committee, that was day 1 and day 2, it was individual work, more of individual work. So what I, as a country, Estonia, would think about the following. So I think the first 2 days and the end of the second week was a little competitive, but otherwise everyone was really sweet, open.
It's good to know that there was some competition in the committee. If you could change one thing about MUN, what would it be?
One thing I'd probably change about MUN would be all the, I'm gonna say maybe slightly unnecessary rules, such as how you refer to yourself and others, and the words you have to use, and the terminology for your resolutions. All of that might just be me being lazy, but I think that's something that could go.
I think one thing that I could change about MUN is nothing. I would never want to change anything about MUN because each and every part teaches you something. Like from making your block resolution to convincing each and every members to vote a yes, taught me a lot. Like the one thing that I really had to take away from MUN is way with my words, because way with our words is really important. It's something that not everybody possesses, but neither did I possess, but MUN really taught me how I can go with my way with words. I think that's something that everyone would want to learn, and I did learn out of MUN.
Both of your perceptions are amazing. So, did you use subtitles in the meetings because of the different accents?
I didn't use subtitles because at the time I actually didn't know that that was a thing. With online learning, you'd think I would have, but no. In hindsight, I would have, because there were things I did not catch a word of. But no, I didn't.
I think I should have used subtitles, but I did not use subtitles. In order to understand different accents, because like we had people all around. I think the accents that I'm really used to is the African English accent, the UK English accent, and the American English accent, probably even the Australian English accent, but other than this, it's a little tough for me to gauge. But I did pay close attention, and I had to concentrate and give my best hearing performance there, and I did get through it. It was not that tough, but I'm really happy I was able to gauge and tell what the person was saying.
That was interesting. Would you consider going to Oxford MUN next year?
Well, it's not a question to ask. I mean, for me, no. I think I'd just say I would do Oxford MUN over and over again, because each and every time I attend an Oxford MUN will teach me different things, will give me different opinions.
That's wonderful to know, Shamika.
Thank you so much, Siri. It was really nice to be with you. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm really honored.
thank you very much for reaching out to me, and I'm sorry this took so long to produce. But lovely to be on the podcast, and see you soon.
Thank you so much, Rose and Shamika, for the wonderful session. I have to say it was very educative, and definitely all our listeners will have something to take away. And thank you all for listening to this podcast. Stay tuned to Interesting Infinity. This is Siri signing out. Bye.